Welcome back to the iAchilles channel, everyone. I haven't done a video in a while. I've been taking care of business and living my life and jumping through the hoops, you know, the government's putting in my way, in the way of my prosperity. So basically I've been winding down my business and, you know, going out of business. But I just can't afford all the fees and regulations anymore. You know, I was hoping to be able to just, you know, ride out this economic crisis and then pick things up when we got a new administration in. But the problem is the government was taking money when I wasn't making money from my business. So I sat my business on the side because I had the ability to do that at one point, and I was going to pick it back up as soon as the climate changed. But the government, after these regulations on my vehicles, started fleecing me, started taking money from me, and I said, you know, hey, I'm gonna just take everything offline. I'm gonna take my trucks and sit them, and I'm not even gonna register them. I'm not even gonna use them. I'm not even gonna look at them. They're just gonna sit there until these people get out of office or the whole thing collapses. One of the two. But the government was not satisfied with that. DOT called me. Sent me letters threatening me with fines if I didn't give them information about my vehicle. I had a 97 Chevy 3500 rack body, basically a glorified pickup truck. But the government wanted information on that, as if it was some type of, I don't know, weapon. I mean, they don't even treat Iran. They don't even threaten Iran as aggressively as they threaten me, and they're making nukes. I have a pickup truck. So the government wants information on this. So I said, no. What gives you the right to ask me for information on a truck? My truck that's not on the road. The Department of Transportation has authority on the roads, the public ways, highways, what have you. They don't have a right to know about something that's private, my truck, on private property, my land. Why is it that they believe that they can demand information about something that's not even on a public way? It's because this is soft tyranny we're dealing with. This is authoritarian. This is designed to put people out of business, to get people so disenchanted and discontent with the system that they just give up. And that's what I did. I did it because I can't afford it. So now I got to go find a job. But, you know, out there in a climate where there are no jobs. I mean, a guy came up to me, he was all excited the other day, he got a job, he's making $8 an hour. And I'm thinking, you're excited about making $8 an hour? I mean, he's excited because he got a job. Nobody has a problem starting at the bottom, you know, when you're just starting out. The problem is they've destroyed it in such a way that even people who are established, even people who have experience, are not getting what they're worth. Because they're fleecing everybody. They're taking money. If they're not taxing you, they're writing regulations. They're writing laws that force you to pay them above and beyond your taxes. You understand? That's what they're doing. So that's what I've been doing. I've been just winding down my business, which was fine prior to the Democrats taking control in Congress during the Bush administration, when all these regulations started on the small businessman. So that's what I've been doing. I've been busy. But what I wanted to talk about today is the Occupy Wall Street. They're all down there complaining about, you know, capitalism and all that. And Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi and the left have embraced these people. They're saying that they have commonality with the Tea Party. They have things in common, like you know, the bank bailouts. Yes, that's right. Everybody hated the bank bailouts except for the government and the left and all the people who benefited from the campaign contributions as a quid pro quo to the bailouts. Everybody hated the bailouts. The difference is we understand what the bailouts were designed to do. Get these leftist idiots out there crying for the end of capitalism. As if it was capitalism that bailed out the banks. I believe capitalism was abandoned. Quote George W. Bush, we have to abandon capitalism to save it. Do you understand? So if you've abandoned capitalism, you bunch of useful idiots down there at Wall Street, if you've abandoned it, what did you replace it with? What was the cause of the bailout? Socialism. The bailout is socialism. Because capitalism demanded that these banks fail and that people be brought to justice. But you want to end that system for the actual system that got us here? Are you so stupid not to realize that it was government getting in bed with banks, forcing banks to give loans to people who couldn't afford them through the Community Reinvestment Act? The quid pro quo to the Community Reinvestment Act was lifting of the Glass-Steagall Act by President Clinton, which allowed the banks then to take these bad mortgages, bundle them up, and fraudulently stamp them because the regulations were gone. The regulators were watching porn, remember? And then put them on the market and sell them. That's what that was. That's not capitalism, you useful idiots. That's at the least crony capitalism. And as far as I'm concerned, socialism, communism, whatever you want to call it. State capitalism, where the government picks and chooses the winners, instead of letting these despicable banks, who did, really the only thing they did wrong was get in bed with the government. That's what they did wrong. They got in bed with the government. They allowed the government because of money. Money was dangled in front of their face. Millions, billions, trillions was dangled. Potential trillions in short-term gains. With no threat of prosecution, and still no prosecutions. Bernie Madoff went to prison, so now we're all supposed to be okay? They caught the man that brought down America? Cut it out. Why is there nobody in prison? People on Wall Street down there protesting? Because Obama didn't prosecute anybody. Obama brought all of the architects into his administration. Geithner. Oh, I can't even remember all their names now. Brought them all in. The beneficiaries of his policies. Obama is giving bailouts constantly through the quantitative easing. But yet you want Obama back there. When these people are asked, what would you replace capitalism with, they don't answer it. And the reason is because if they did, everybody would be in shock. And what they want is communism. Because they've been convinced that the problem with communism was Stalin. Stalin ruined communism. But the reality is communism created Stalin. Gave Stalin all that power. And people are fundamentally corrupted by power. And they become totalitarian tyrants. And that's what he was. And that's what Obama's becoming. Obama's attacking. He's destroying. His policies, his regulations, his whole ideology is against the free market, is against individualism. It's about collectivism. It's about destroying the little man and empowering the big man. All of these regulations are designed to destroy the individual. For example, my business, it all went to Home Depot. And the bigger established businesses. Do you understand? It was to destroy the little guy, the middle class. They are the target of Barack Obama. And he tells you that every time he looks into the camera and says, we're for the middle class. They've targeted the middle class, and that's for sure. Because that's what Saul Alinsky tells them to do. I can't even find my book now. Sorry for the mess. I'm just in disarray. I'm getting ready to move here. This is the Cloward-Piven strategy that has been going on since the 60s. You got to understand, all of these policies and programs were designed to fail. They're designed to create debt. Did you know, you know what really bothers me about these leftists? We need infrastructure. We need highways and roads and bridges. I've probably watched C-SPAN probably 5 times in my life. And one time I watched it, I watched Harry Reid and Barbara Boxer take the highway fund that is funded by you and me through our taxes, through our tolls, whatever. They took that highway fund and put it in the general fund, and their excuse was it's too difficult and there's too much red tape to get the money out of there to do the projects that need to be done for the American people. The problem is that's right, there was a lot of red tape. And the red tape was because you had to use that money for highways and roads and bridges. And they didn't want to use it for that. So they took that money and they put it in the general fund and they spent it and they created all kinds of new leftist policies that people depend on now. So that if you ever go back after that money and try to put that lockbox, now there won't be money to fund these programs and they'll call you a monster for trying to take it away from them. Even though it was never that money was never designed to go there. Do you understand? And now you see commercials all over the TV about how highways and roads are underfunded. It's the same thing with Social Security. It used to be a lockbox. They put it in the general fund. And they started funding different programs with them that can't end. Because they do some type of humanitarian deal for somebody. It helps somebody. So now you can't end it. That's how this whole system's been created and built. You can't end these things now. And if you want to, you're a monster. You just want old people to die, autistic children to starve in the streets, and whatever. But if the government would get out of the way and stop fleecing everybody, people would have enough money to create jobs to give other people wealth. That's how you redistribute wealth. You get the government out of the way and you stop them from stealing American people's money. I'm for the Tea Party. I'm a Tea Party person. And the reason is because the Democrats and the Republicans got us here. Why would I back any one of them? I'm backing a new horse who wants to restore our Constitution, not destroy it. God bless America.